Hello and welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic. Quite an exciting time for us at the moment. We've just released our Chess Sudoku app on the App Store, Steam and Android. The link is below in the description field and it's been going very well. Sales are quite good and the feedback has been incredibly positive. People are enjoying the mix already of Knight puzzles and King Sudoku puzzles with Queen puzzles to come. So do check it out and please buy a copy of the app. Now, the other thing we've had released recently is our Patreon puzzle for the month. That's available at our Patreon site. Look for Patreon Cracking the Cryptic. It costs at least $2 a month to get the content and $3 a month if you want to see the video solving it as well. That's available now. It's slightly easier puzzle than last month's because that proved quite tough for some of the followers, but I hope you'll enjoy that one. It's sandwich Sudoku with a bit of a twist. Also going on at the moment, we've had a good boost in subscribers recently, but if you enjoy this content and you haven't subscribed, please do click the button at the bottom right of the screen and subscribe to us. And if you press the bell icon, you'll be updated whenever we post something new, which is normally 8:30 every evening. A few bonus posts lately, but that's the standard. And then finally, coming on to this puzzle, as you can probably tell if you've seen these before, this is a Thermo Sudoku. In which the rule is that from the bulb to the end of each thermometer, say like this, the numbers must increase starting at the bulb. That's the simple rule. As you can see from this puzzle, there are no givens in the grid. It promises to be hard, therefore, and not just because of that, but because it's been set by Fistomafel on Logic Masters Germany, where it's had an approval rating of 93%, meaning the solvers there have really enjoyed it, and Fistomafel himself, who is one of our recent very admired compilers, has recommended it to us. So I think that speaks volumes. So I'm going to have a go at it now and we'll see how we get on. Often the best place to start will be where there's a lot of thermometers. So in this box, every cell is on one of two thermometers. So it can help with a thermo to fill in the possibilities. So this one must start with something 4 or below so that the numbers can increase and it can still get to the end. And I'm filling in all the possibilities for each cell. That's how they work. As long as we're increasing, those numbers must appear in these cells. One of these numbers must appear in that cell, for instance. Slightly shorter thermometer at the top of the box, so we can fill in slightly more numbers in each cell, and those are the possibilities. Now, what does this tell us about this box? Well, if you study these numbers, you'll see that, for instance, 1s can only appear in the bulbs, which you might have been able to work out in your head anyway. 9s, similarly, can only be at the end of one of the bulbs. They couldn't possibly be on a thermometer not at the end. 8s, though, 8s, quite interestingly, are also restricted to this middle row, and there are no 8 possibilities outside it, for instance. So 8 and 9 must feature within these 3 cells, and that's quite useful looking over at this thermometer here, which must end in a number below 8. And we can again fill in the possibilities. Now there are only 3 numbers in each cell as possibles for this one, because it must end in 5, 6 or 7. Now what else can we do if we look at this box? Okay, now this is interesting. If one of these was a 7, then this would be a 7, 8, 9 triple. Now that would make these 2 cells, they would have to be 5 and 6 in some order, because that's all that's left for them. The cells below them, which both come before them on a thermometer, they would have to be 4 and 5, And the other cells in the bottom row on thermometers would all have to be below 4 and 5, and there are 4 of them. You can't have 4 numbers below 4 and 5. So that's a slightly long-winded way, perhaps, of proving there isn't a 7 in these 3 cells. And that's quite interesting because it now means the only place left for a 7 in this box, you can see it, it's here in this top right corner. That's useful when we consider this thermometer. The numbers that are bigger than 7 on it must be 8 and 9. The only possibility left in this cell is 6, and that tells us the whole of this bottom right thermometer, which that's a beautiful start. There might be other ways to come at that. I think we had maybe a 3, 4, 5, 6 quadruple there, but this has got a lot of this filled in. And in fact, the last 2 cells are on a thermometer. We know they're 4 and 5, so 4 must be the lower. And there we go. We've got a whole box filled in suddenly, and a decent start out of a thermometer that puzzle that wasn't very promising. Now these 2 remaining cells along the bottom, they must be 5 and 6, and this must end in 7. I don't think we can resolve anything about those 2 yet, but again, that's a pretty good start. These remaining cells, we can fill in the possibilities. Here we must have 1, 2, or 3. There's a 4 in the box, but this one could be any of 1, 2, 3, or 4. Okay, so we're going to have to look somewhere else. And the next longest thermometer's up here. Okay, I'm going to fill in the possibilities again. It could go up to 4, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 6, 7, 8, 9. And a lot of this box up here is filled with this one as well. Let's put in all the possibilities of this, even though there are 6 numbers in each cell this time. And yeah, something we can see here, again, looking at all these cells that we've put the possibilities in for, there's no 1. So 1 must be in one of the non-thermometer cells here. And again, you can kind of possibly understand that, because obviously if a 1's on a thermometer, it has to be on the bulb. And now, yes, and that's an important point. These can't be 1's, because if a 1's on a thermometer, it has to be on a bulb. And look at this 1. That's blocking off those 3 cells. So in this box 3 up here, 1 must be in one of those 2, and that's ruling out this 1. So we can place a 1 in the corner. Lovely. Okay, we can get rid of the 1 out of that cell. A lot of these puzzles are making sure you're eliminating correctly. Look, yes, we can eliminate the 1 from that cell. That means this can't be a 2, this can't be a 3, this can't be a 4. And now where does a 2 go in this box? None of the cells on the thermometers can be a 2 anymore. This must be a 2. Again, that feeds with these. This is so beautifully constructed. They can't be 2's because they're more than 2 cells away, or they're at least 2 cells away from a bulb. This 2 means that these 3 can't be 2's. So the 2 in this box must be in one of these 2 cells, must be one of those. And that works with this 2. Where does the 2 go in this box 6 over here? Can't go on the end of the thermometer because it's 4 cells long. So the 2 must be in one of those 2. Crikey, I mean. Okay, so this 2, what else has it done? It's knocked a 2 out of here, and a 2 out of there, and a 2 out of there. We've got a 1, 3, 4 pair. I don't know if that's helpful yet. I mean, it means these cells must be 6, 7, 8, or 9. 7 and 6 that we filled in here. We can get rid of 7's there, 6's out of all those. This can't be a 5. This can't be a 4 anymore. So now we've got a 1, 3 pair in column 2. And because of that, this cell must be a 4. Use the right notation, must be a 4. This one can't be a 4. Well, I thought that was going to give us something a bit more. Now this 5 is saying this can't be a 5 at the top. Now, what else can we do at this point? 1 here means that 1 in this box must be in one of these two. One of these two must be a 1. One of those two must be a 7 as well, but that's not proving much else. Okay, let's have a look at this thermometer here. This one doesn't seem to be very restricted yet. And this one, this tiny thermometer must kind of, it's so small, it's probably only used at the end to disambiguate something. So let's have a look at this one. The top part of this must start with one of those. Ah, okay, this one can't be 4 or 5 because they're in the same column. Yes, look at the things in the column below. This one can't be 6 or 4, so it's 5, 7 or 8. This one can't be 9 though, so it can't be 5 as well. 6, 7 or 8. This one can't be 8 anymore, so that can't be 7, that can't be 6, that can't be 5. That feeds all the way back down there. Let's have a look at this one as well. This could be, well no, not almost anything. We've got 4 and 5 in the column still. So 2, 3, 6 or 7. This is looking very similar. This has to be 5, 7 or 8. This can't be 9, so it's 8 maximum. We can take 8 out of there, 7 out of there, because that has to be less than that. So 8's no longer possible. Now look what that's left us with, a 5, 7 pair in this box. So these cells can't contain a 7, and they're a 6, 8 pair. Okay. That looks like it should be useful. We can put it, because of this 2, I thought I'd done that earlier. I thought we could put a 2 up there. Maybe I took it out somehow. Ooh, what else? Oh, okay. Look at these 2 cells. I'm going to establish that there has to be a 6 in one of them. And the way I'm going to do that, this cell could obviously be a 6 already. If it's not a 6, it's a 2 or a 3. If it's a 3, this cell's a 6. That's obvious. But if this is a 2, this can't be a 3 because that would have to be a 2 and that a 1. And you've already got a 2 in the box. So whether this is a 2 or a 3, that's a 6. And alternatively, this is a 6. So one of those has to be a 6. And that works with, there has to be a 6 in one of these 2. And those 2 are taking up all the 6s in row 1 or 2. Or looked at another way, where is there a 6 in row 3? Obviously not in these second and third boxes. So one of these has to be a 6, and those 2 can't be. So this is a 6. And that's a surprising find. One of these must be a 6. And on this thermometer, this one has to be 7 or 8. This one has to be 8 or 9. This can't be a 6 anymore because of the 6 in the same box. And now we've got a 7, 8, 9 triple there. And that only leaves 3, 4, 5 for the ones in column 3 in this box. So we can fill them in because they're on a thermometer. 3, 4, 5. We can do the rest of that, the beginning part of that thermometer as 2 and 1. This can't be 2 or 6 anymore. That 1 has resolved this 3, gives us a 1 there. That 3 fixes that. We've got an 8, 9 pair in that box now. This is now a 1, 3 pair. We don't know any more about that. But that's interesting. This is now an 8, 9 pair in the column. Those can't be 8, 9. This is a 3, 4, 5 triple on the left here. Okay, but this 5, 4, 3 that we've put in up here, they've got some effects as well. So we can take 5 out of there and therefore 4 out of there. We can take, yeah, this, we know that these 2 thermometer ends, one must be, because one of these is a 7, that goes with the 8 outside it. So one of them is 7, 8 and one is 5, 6. This one's obviously not 5, 6 because of that 5. So this is now the 7-8 end, and that's the 5-6 end of those thermometers. We know that one of these is a 6, so it must now be this one. And that is real. I mean, this is so clever the way this all works together. 2 and 3 here can't be in those cells, so this is now a 2-3 pair up here, and these ones are 1, 4 and 9. Because of the 4, 9, 1 here, we can rule one of those out of each cell. That makes this trio 5, 7 and 8. That one can't be the 5. Look, 7, 8 up here. They're clearly acting on that cell to make it a 9. And that fixes the rest of that thermometer there. That's brilliant. I mean, I love the way this works. It's so clever. Right, that's 2, 4 or 3. Where does 9 go in this box? It must be here. And we've got a 2-3 pair in that row, so this is 1. Actually, it was the only place for a 1 left in the box. One of those is a 4, and I don't know which one yet. Interesting. Now, that 1 has helped this 3-1 pair down here. They're resolved. This isn't 9 anymore. Now, we haven't used this thermometer yet. And look at the end of it. That can't, and what's in column 7? Oops, sorry, column 7. Already we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've got 1, 2, 8 and 9 to place. This one can't be 1 or 2 because it's on the end of a 4-digit thermometer. So that has to be 8 or 9, as does this because there's a 1, 2 in that row. So 2 must be here now. That's 1, and that fixes the 4 and 9 up there as well. Now that gives us a 1, 3, 7 triple there. That can't be 1, and 4, 5, 6 here. In fact, this can't be 1 either, coming back to this thermometer. So given that 1, and that 1, they have ruled out lots of the cells here, and the only one left for a 1 in the central box is there. So we can put 1 in there as well. So on this thermometer, this starting cell can only be 2 or 6, and it can't be 6. And I'll show you why. Because if that was 6, we'd have 7 here, 8 here, 9 here. What would this cell be? There's no possibility left if 8 and 9 are already put in the row. So that can't be 6. So that's a 2. Given that 6, we can place 6 here. This is 8 or 9. Now, how about the rest of this thermometer? No, how about this row? Yeah, where does 2 go, and then where does 3 go? Well, 2 obviously can't be on the thermometer with a 2, so the only place left is here. The only place for 3 can't be here because of that 3. It can't be here because you couldn't find a number between 2 and 3 on the thermometer, so it must be here. That's good. So now this must be 4, 5 or 6. This one, oh no, actually that could be 7 as well. This can still be 7 or 8. And there's a pair again in the column. 7 or 8 pair. This one is resolved as a 9. That fixes our 8, 9 over in box 7. That can't be 9. 7, 8 pair left there. Now 7, 8 pair there. This must be 2 or 3, and there's a 2 in the row and the box, so that's a 3. That fixes that as a 2, gets rid of the 2 possibilities there. 3 and 4, they've been resolved by this 3 now. Lovely. This can't be a 4 anymore. And now what? Well, I think we've got to use this thermometer. 3, 9, 2, 6 and 1 are already gone in the column. So we've got 4, 5, 7 or 8 left as possibilities. So it could be 4, 5 or 7 here, 5, 7 or 8 here. What else have we got? For a moment I thought there was a reason that couldn't be a 7, but I could. Yes, look, in this column, where does 4 go? There's only one place for it now. It's got to be there. And that fixes this 5. There we go. 4 over here. We can do 5 and 6. This 3, 7's been resolved by this 3. That's lovely. Now, that is 8 or 9 for the row. That can't be 5 anymore. And that's good, because now we have a 7, 8 pair in the column. This must be 5. And look, we've got a 7, 8 pair in the box now as well. And that's probably going to finish us off. So this is a 9. Can't be an 8 anymore. That resolves this 8, 9 pair here. That resolves this 8, 9 pair. That fixes that as a 7 and that as an 8. The 7, 6 is done. We've got 5 and 6 to go in this box. There they go. 7 and 8 resolved there. Oh, I didn't do this 2 and 3 up here. They're fixed. And 7 and 8 here. That is, I mean, that has worked together so beautifully. You can understand why people love this on Logic Masters Germany and why Fistemafel recommended it to us. What you can't understand is how he put it together to be so perfect. I mean, that is just genius. Lovely star. I mean, every bit of this solve was really, really beautiful. Maybe apart from having to have the one extra disambiguator in the middle, but what a clever puzzle. Really enjoyable. I mean, done in about 20 minutes, but I think that is really tough. Thanks very much for watching. Thank you to the compiler as well. And as I say, remember, Patreon puzzle, Chess Sudoku app, all the older apps, Sandwich Sudoku and Classic Sudoku. Hope you enjoy the content and hope to see you again soon on Cracking the Cryptic. Bye for now.